Hello everyone, it's Michelle Robinson for Ward 10. I got a questionnaire from the Rocky Mountain Civil Liberties, so I wanted to answer them. I just wanted to thank Sharon for reaching out and asking these questions. She sent them on the 4th of October, which is the National Sisters in Spirit Vigils that honor missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit. The first question is, what changes would you make to reveal details about the extent of the city's closed-circuit camera surveillance system, the location of the surveillance, traffic, and other cameras monitoring the streets, buildings, properties, and people in Calgary? I'm not sure I know the legalities of a councillor being able to give up those details at this point. What I do know is that I am and have a long history of standing up for civil liberties. I would like to work with the Alberta Civil Liberties at the U of C and the Rocky Mountain CLA to re-examine areas of improvement that can allow for more transparency, look at other examples from the other G8 countries and safe ways to protect civil liberties while protecting our data from foreign agencies. Question 2. What is your position on surveillance and monitoring of Calgarians who park in residential parking areas? Again, we must protect civil liberties. I would answer very similar to the first question. I would work to find more areas of transparency on why we need to do these techniques, other than for finding purposes. We also have a carding issue in Ward 5 and 10 that I think needs to be looked at with a new lens after the implementation of the White Goose Flying Report. Question 3, what is your position on sharing information about individuals whose images and conduct are captured on city monitoring systems, in particular with the Calgary Police Service? As an Indigenous human rights advocate, I have found it interesting how these images and conduct have not resulted in solutions for missing and murdered Indigenous peoples. Sex workers, through the advocacy of a nonprofit called Shift, they should have their rights upheld, especially when clear criminal activity against them has happened. As for the CPS directly, we've seen the ACERT review use these images and lay charges, and I can talk about the Prince case most recently in the news as an example. We need to spend money on body cameras and transparency processes to protect and clear police of allegations, and at the same time use that data to protect citizens' rights. What is your position on holding council meetings in camera? I have deep respect for the previous council dealing with multi-million-dollar items and making sure they follow proper legal process. I understand there are moments of checking with the legal team on frameworks. My hope is the newly elected team will figure out ways to reduce these times. Obviously, government should be as transparent as possible. And the last question, what steps would you take to ensure that access to information as required by Alberta's Freedom of Information legislation is easier, faster, more transparent, and proactive? I think there are a few avenues that we can take. We can strike a voluntary committee to review the process and implement those recommendations from the report. We could use the body camera process for the police as a framework. We can have legal students from one of the universities or civil liberties associations do a study as another avenue. As an Indigenous person who has known historical barriers of legal access, I would be an advocate for civil liberties, and again, I'd like to see the implementation of the White Goose Flying Report and having all of the people have an understanding of Indigenous issues before undertaking that. So that's a little bit about me and my positions. Again, thank you, Sharon, for reaching out, and I hope if you agree with what I said, please share this. Please call your friends. Go vote.